Obviously, you're going straight into the Mockingjay films after this. Are there any kind of particular scenes you're really looking forward to doing for those? Anything you're really looking forward to the fans seeing?
I'm really looking forward to just, you know, in Mockingjay 3 and 4, this whole war and this rebellion, this revolution that we've been building up to starts to happen. So I think I'm really excited about when we first go into the Capitol and the war begins. We're like literally under strict orders to say nothing about Mockingjay. I think partially because there is a book, so if you want to know what the movie's going to be about, you should just read the book. Okay. We're encouraging young people to read. It's a good thing.
You know, if you look toward the end, I think, you know, war in the streets of the Capitol is going to be pretty fantastic. I think there's some really emotional scenes that's great. There's some great new cast members. In part 1, I would say when Katniss and the group go to District 8 to visit a hospital, and there's a bombing sequence that's from the book, I think that's going to be very exciting.
I'm excited for the moment when Peeta first sees Katniss again after he comes back from the Capitol. I think it's really intense, and it's a big, exciting moment, and you kind of see how both their characters are developed and come along. So it's a pretty intense moment.
Very
so I'm
meaningful
excited.
scene.
Yeah, very meaningful. Very
Very emotional.
Very emotional. Yeah.
And you get to get involved in the action a bit more.
Yeah, Gale gets he's you know, a big part of the uprising. So it'll be good fun. It's such a good group of people to be working with.
What I'm most looking forward to about these movies, because the next two, which are the second book, split into 2 parts, are much less abstract than the first. The second is less abstract than the first as well, but it becomes more specifically an examination of war and the consequences of war. And Peeta's journey is a particularly interesting one. I'm really curious to see how that's realized, and I think it's going to be a wonderful challenge for Josh, because he plays, who is essentially, a guy, a warrior who's trying to deal with post-traumatic stress disorder, and I think it's among other things, and I think it's a really wonderful. A wonderful opportunity for kids to, within the context of a big, budget popcorn movie, to give thought to these ideas, because, we have a lot of young men and women coming back to America, coming back to the UK as well, having these experiences that are, quite troubling for them, and in America, at least, we're kind of distanced from all of this, We're a society at war, but, we pop down to the corner store and, grab our morning newspaper and our things and go on our way. We don't really, it's not really, we're not really affected by it. And so I think it's healthy that, that kids are taking in story that's relevant in that way at such kind of critical and volatile times.
Do you know if there'll be any sort of scenes added? Because obviously it being 2 films, you've obviously been quite faithful to the book so far. Do you know if there's going to be anything added into?
There will be added scenes, only because the book is written as a narrative, so whenever, Katniss can explain things that are happening, but we can't ever see them. So for the audience's benefit, the things that Katniss is describing that are happening in the Capitol, we have to take you there. We have to add those scenes. So yes, there will be a few added scenes.
There's going to be some surprises. I mean, even in Catching Fire, one of the fun things is breaking point of view every once in a while when it's about Katniss. And so there's a couple of new bits and pieces, and some you've even seen in the trailer that aren't in the book. But you sort of can imagine that it's stuff that was happening within the book, and it's sort of true to the characters and still, true to the plot. We're going to be doing some of the same of that in Mockingjay. So it's always nice to give even fans of the book who've read them over and over and over sort of something new to get them excited, something to surprise them.